Hey guys, Chris here with OmniMetrix, and welcome to episode 3 of the OmniCast podcast. Very excited about this episode and the topic that we are discussing because it is something that does come up pretty frequently in conversations with me, and it is something that we like to showcase pretty often, but also like to remind folks of this capability because it does often get overlooked, not only in our ability to do this, but also the benefits that it provides. What am I talking about? I'm talking about brand agnosticness for our monitors. Now, you may say, Chris, what do you mean by when you say brand agnosticness? Well, to put it quite simply, it means that our devices can hook up to a variety of generator brands and controllers. So whether it's Cummins, Briggs & Stratton, Cat, Generac, Kohler, Champion. We just announced a deal with Champion yesterday that we can hook up the Flex and Axis controllers to that and are doing a deal exclusively with them. So it provides a lot of benefits, not only in choice to our end users, but a lot of benefits that dealers maybe don't think about. And I'm going to go over some of those benefits as well. But to kind of give you a backstory on why I kind of thought about this, recently took a call from a university. They had a similar situation from one of the case studies that we had, and they have about 30 generators spread across their campus, all different brands, and on a Thursday evening, generators turned on and nobody really noticed it until the middle of the weekend. So the generators ran for about 2.5 days just burning fuel. At the time of this recording, we all know how expensive fuel costs can actually be and how much they can fluctuate. So any burned fuel, especially in a generator that does not need to be running, is extremely wasteful, and it's very, very frustrating not knowing that these big, massive backup generators are running and you have no way of getting to them, no way of turning them off without physically going to them. So it creates a lot of frustration, and that was why this facilities manager was looking for remote monitoring. The issue he was running into was he has a lot of different types of generators just because they have been replaced over the years. Certain folks that prefer different brands over the others. Maybe there was availability, a multitude of reasons why they have a variety of different generators. Now, the main issue with that is, let's just say you're using a specific generator with their monitoring software and then a specific generator with the other monitoring software. That's two different portals that you have to go into. The data may be different, and really you're going to be getting a different set of alerts and parameters. So that was really what led him to calling us, is because he goes, well, hey, I'm just curious. I didn't know that you guys could monitor a variety of different generators, and with your product being able to remote start stop for his specific instance, it would have saved them a ton of money in fuel cost as well as headache, because they would have gotten the alerts, been able to turn them on as well. But also too, it lets them know that the utility is still out at the facility and they can contact the power company. So it adds a benefit of not only keeping the power on, but lets the facilities manager know as well that the power is still not on the building and kind of work with the power company to get that back. So that was really kind of the background with what made me think of this, and really kind of want to go over a lot of the benefits of utilizing OmniMetrix monitors because of their brand agnosticness from a dealer perspective. From an end user, it's a great product because it does not limit you. If you like the software, it really allows you to go out and purchase whichever generator that you want. But a lot of our software being able to go into a variety of different brands can help you guys as a dealer not only provide better customer service, but it helps you in being able to offer a lot more products and services as well, and just some ideas that I'll go over. So, the first big thing, as I mentioned, the benefit of choice. If you are a dealer that maybe offers multiple brands of generators, the advantage of, let's say, having an Omni or an Omni Pro allows you to offer that customer what they are specifically looking for. It allows you to give them what they need for their specific needs, and allows you to really kind of offer the same remote monitoring service no matter what the customer chooses. So what does that also mean? It means if your team's trained up, they don't have to go in and waste time or spend time and effort. I don't really want to say waste, but spend time and effort learning a new platform. They don't have to go to a multitude of different apps or keep up with a multitude of different notifications. They can follow everything that we have within OmniView. All the alerts and notifications can be tracked as well. So it really helps you as a dealer from a value perspective provide that customer that choice. Now, the other thing that I personally like is, let's just say you want to keep everything organized and provide maintenance service, warranty service. If you have a variety of different monitors that you're using in your fleet, as I mentioned, you got to go keep up with, let's say, who had the Mobile Link, maybe who had the Acumen, who had whatever other monitor that you're potentially using. You have to utilize their specific portals, maybe understand the different terminology or languages from what the different alarms mean, so it can provide a lot of customer service issues that forces you as a dealer to be more reactive to service rather than proactive. Let's just use this for an example. A hurricane comes through and you're a dealer in the Gulf states. Well, you know that you're probably going to be a little bit busy with power outages and making sure that generators are up and running prior to the storm, or even making sure that they are running after the storm if they do actually fail. Now, it does allow you to be more proactive and see everything into the health of the generator all in one spot. You don't have to go in and figure out, oh, okay, John Doe's generator over here needs fuel. Jack Smith's over here needs a new battery. You know, kind of how do we organize the truck roll? Everything will kind of be all in one. So any type of technician, supervisor can go in and see the health of every single generator and monitor under your account. And like I said, you don't have to hop back and forth. That saves you guys a lot of time, but also allows you to be proactive because, again, hurricane coming in, you can call up John Doe or Jack Smith and say, hey, we noticed that your battery voltage is low. It's triggering this alarm. We noticed your fuel. Would you like us to go ahead and schedule this for you? Now, if you were trying to do that based on different brands, you'd have to go to the different portals. Maybe you miss one, or maybe you have to be reactive and the customer ends up calling you and saying, hey, my generator didn't start. Can you come look at it? That can cause a lot of unnecessary frustration, but also, again, building value into that customer service, saying, hey, we have noticed this prior to an issue. We want to make sure everything's good. Let's go ahead and do that. So that's one major benefit of having it in there. The other thing are features like our maintenance schedule. So this was a feature, I'm sure if you've done any type of demonstration with me, it's something that I bring up because it's something I think is personally really cool. And that is this maintenance schedule feature within OmniView. And what you can do as a dealer is you can coordinate all your routes, truck rolls, coordinate different ways to be proactive, especially if you're offering, warranty services or service contracts where, let's say for the first 2 years, you let the customer know, hey, we'll make sure that all the fuel's always topped off, that the batteries are working, that all your connections are there. We'll make sure that the actual generator is functioning properly. So that maintenance schedule allows you insight not only to schedule those appointments, but it allows your technicians to go in and put notes on appointments. They can upload documents. Let's say the customer wants to go in right after the service and you say, hey, Mr. John Doe was just servicing your generator. I did notice this wasp nest. They can take a picture and say, hey, it's in here. I would maybe hit it, or I can clean it up for you, whatever it may be. Again, adding to that customer value of proactively helping them make sure that their investment that they have spent a lot of money on is working as function. That all does get housed and stored within OmniView, so you can go back and check your team, you can assign tasks, you can send notifications, follow-ups, and really focus on those needs in that same organization, but not be limited to having to go to those different portals. As I mentioned, it keeps you a lot more organized and really allows you to focus on that customer service and proactive service. I can say from experience, there is nothing more frustrating than having to deal with something when you're being reactive. It's a much better feeling when, let's say, a dealer reaches out to you and says, hey, I noticed this prior to any issue. So that's one major thing that I do think gets overlooked. And that maintenance schedule is great just because, again, you can see all your different brands of generators. It's all organized in the same way. And as I mentioned, even the custom dashboards of how you can see everything and what's important to you, you can focus on that proactive action that you would want to be doing to increase your customer service. Now, tying into that, because you can utilize things like your maintenance feature, because you're not having to go, okay, this Generac generator needs a battery, this Kohler needs fuel, this Briggs & Stratton needs a new cable because a rodent chewed through it. It allows you to really focus on the specific needs and organize your truck rolls so they can be reduced. Now, what is a benefit of reduced truck rolls? Well, everyone would naturally think, okay, yeah, you're not having to, pay a tech to go out and drive, 3 hours just to realize that the on-off switch is not in auto or it's turned off. It's little things like that where you can save not only the time and the money it would take to go out there, but when you organize, again, you can focus on, okay, maybe this truck roll is going to focus specifically on fuel and battery in these areas, or I know technician A is going to be on this job, and this job, while I can assign technician B this job, this job, this job. Technician C can be on call for emergencies. So really organizing the truck rolls that way will allow you to, again, maximize the time that and the utilization of your techs and everything that they're doing there. Another thing that may not be thought about is when your technicians and employees are out on the road with those truck rolls, there are more hazards of, crazy distracted drivers. Are your technicians maybe distracted? Are really anytime you have an employee out in the field that pose an increased risk rather than them being, in the office, but that allows you to kind of organize and not only reduce the truck roll costs, but the risk and increase the safety of your employees. So not only are they not out on the road when they don't need to be, if they're going to a specific job, they have the proper PPE equipment to protect themselves so you can avoid potential electrocution or, cuts, scrapes, sharp objects, things like that. The other thing with those truck rolls is it eliminates the unnecessary wear and tear on your vehicles. As I mentioned, we all know gas prices are a little bit higher than they have been at the time of this recording, but also repair costs on vehicles, especially if you have a big truck, can get very expensive. So if you're out on the road, even if you're going to a remote area and a tire is punctured and it's a issue where the customer could go out and, as I mentioned, just trigger the switch back into auto, that is something that can avoid, let's say, this truck hitting a pothole, getting a flat tire, and you got to spend a few $100s to fix a flat tire. When that happens, you also have the issue of what other jobs had to be readjusted because of this vehicle issue. So there's things that not only cost and time, but potential damage to the vehicle. You're reducing those truck rolls to really kind of ensure you're getting the most out of those service visits. And like I said, it goes back to the proactive customer service. You're looking out for the customer first. So those are some of the major things that I like to highlight with the brand agnostic side and the value to the dealer of going with a monitor that is, let's say, brand agnostic versus tied into the specific generator brand that the customer has. One of the other things, and I've talked about this in a lot of the OmniView videos, is everything goes within that single app, and you also have the customization. So if you have techs that are assigned to specific tasks, not only can you assign them in the maintenance schedule, but they can filter within OmniView the alarms and parameters that they're maybe responsible for. Maybe technician A is responsible for making sure all of your batteries, or maybe that sounds like something that would be a more efficient way of utilizing your technician's time and really making your company more efficient. That gives you the ability, that customization, to really see what's important and kind of drown out all the unnecessary noise and really make sure your team is focusing on their specific expertise, what they're supposed to be doing. And again, that makes your entire operation run a whole lot more efficiently. The other thing is the self-activation. So OmniView does offer self-activation, and it's easy to do not only within the app. You don't have to call in tech support. You don't have to do any of the paperwork that you used to. And if you're doing a variety of different brands or brand monitors, you would have to go in and follow their activation processes. Again, going into time, which is so valuable to all of us. Your technicians are having to make sure that they're up to speed on their specific brands. Maybe you only have technicians that only can know specific brands because it's so much information. It, again, allows your team to be more streamlined and more efficient with everything that they're doing. So all of those major advantages of the brand agnostic side of OmniMetrix monitors, I think can provide a lot more value to dealers and really a lot better user experience for your customers. So that wraps up episode 3 of OmniCast. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, this was a topic that I like to showcase a lot because there are a lot of benefits that really get overlooked, because the main benefit of just, hey, you can pick whatever generator that you want and we can monitor everything and have that same user experience. It's really just the surface level. So OmniView can provide so much more with that brand agnostic ability and allow you as a dealer to provide much more streamlined and efficient services to your customer. You as an end user have a lot more visibility and choice when it comes to picking a generator or backup power generation source. So with that being said, I do want to again thank you guys for taking the time to tune in. Don't forget to like and subscribe to keep coming back, and we'll see you in the next one.